Alright, we all know this is going to be super controversial because these loot crates, they're just all over the place. Let's have a look at the new one here. So, we got Electro Bash. Some things have actually changed on how these loot crates work now with this one. So, let's get into that first before I get into talking about the issues. So, every 30 draws, you will now, instead of getting a legendary or epic item out of the Lightforge collection, you'll be getting a crystal that is a selector pack for items within a category. So, at the top we have the Grand, then we have 4 of them under Legend, and 5 of them under Treasure. So if we go into those real quick, Grand is the car skin, Legend is 2 different skins that have to do with the armor sets, and 2 of them are Cradles. Then if we go to Treasure, we have a cosmetic for your territory, and then we have 2 KVD skins, a SN700 skin, and then this Cradle charm. So essentially what this means is rather than getting a specific item and it checks it off, we're now going to be checking off these crystals. So if we go into the probability guide for this, you're looking at 0.06 for the crystal or crate that gives the car skin, a 0.8% for all of the ones in Crystal 2, and 3.18% in the one that gives all of the like KVD skins and stuff like that. So what does this mean? This means that grand total, they're allowing us to pull 300 crates. That means in the absolute worst case possible, which is almost impossible with how the probability is, but that would mean that you could spend upwards to 600 American US dollars to get everything from this Lightforge system. Now, with that being said, on average, you're going to be way lower than that because at a 3.18%, and each time you get one of these crystals, it takes it out of the pool from the guaranteed, which means that you're going to get them faster and faster. But there is still that chance for that super unlucky person out there. So most likely someone like me would have to spend 600. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with that if it didn't feel like this was bloated. So this is where we're going to get into the controversy. So again, that's how the system works. You get a 50% off on the first 10. If you pull 30 times, you're guaranteed one of these crystals, and then you can only pull up to 300 times to get all of the crystals, basically. So if you get the crystal you want, so let's say you pull this one, you get the card, you wanted the card, fantastic. You did that in 30 pulls, gonna be a great time. But if you end up pulling, say, this treasure one, 2 of the options are just a reskin of the same thing, basically. If you pull one of these legend ones, there's literally only 2 skins in here. They're just recolored of each other. So there's this skin, recolored, and then your Cradle, recolored. They're literally the exact same thing. It's great that they have animations and stuff happening with them, but there's a dye shop in the game. Why can't we just dye this costume to look like this costume? There should only be one in here. They took one step forward by making it a selector rather than having to deal with, oh, I got something I didn't really want. And then they take a bunch of steps backwards by bloating these up by having different colors on them and throwing in a bunch of extra stuff that really shouldn't be in here. So it's actually harder to get the final skin. Now, on top of that, the other problem that I have with this is that if you go in and try to buy this with fragments, this car is now 1,140 of these fragments, whereas, say, the motorcycle, I believe it was somewhere around 500 or 600. So it's almost double the price of the previous cosmetic that was for a vehicle. And now if you want this skin in both colors, like it's 320 each, a Cradle for 290, like these prices are all so heavily inflated from what we've seen previously. So again, they took one step forward and I feel like kind of like 3 steps backwards. I feel like the whales are getting screwed on this one because you have to spend way more to just get a bunch of color variations of the same stuff. When you finish off this one, so when you pull one crystal, you get one of the you get these two additionals. So one thing that I just want to correct here on these conditional rewards, I first read this off as getting it after you get any of the Lightforge crystals, but you actually have to get a Lightforge crystal 1, 2, and 3 to be able to get these. So if you get the whole collection, you get these 3. But if you go for the whole collection, like if you see anybody with this sticker, you know they went all the way on something that they literally bloated just to milk whales. And I'm not talking your normal whale. Like, I would consider myself a normal whale. I went all the way and got the bike skin. This is just like, I don't want to spend that much money to get copies of the same thing, just slightly different colors. Like, that should just be a dye pack. So there's my thoughts on the whole thing. I think they could have made this so much better. Because again, 1 step forward, 3 steps back. I really feel like the amount of public backlash that they've had on these loot crates, it must be a minority that is very vocal, because clearly they're making enough money that they keep doing it. And it's like they put in like this choice thing, I feel, to like appease the people that are upset. But then they kind of masked what they're actually doing, which is just bloating it with a lot of extra stuff with just reskinned colors, and then they're going to continue on. But I am going to do the little bit of a chance here, so I'm going to try the 10 pull. It's 50% off, see what I get, and then from there I might go up to a 30 pull, but let's see what we get with this first 10 pull. Yes, only 1 character can participate. I'm okay with that. Flash sale. Let's see what we get. Alright, we got a bunch of hot garbage. It's kind of what I was expecting. I got a duplicate right away in the first crate. Like, are you kidding me? Come on. This is the problem I have with this system. Like, the duplicates are just nonsense. Alright, so I topped up. We're going to do a second 10 pull here. We're probably going to go for the 30 draw just to get 1 guaranteed, just to show how the Lightforge crystals work. I do want to be able to show that. Again, I'm not super happy with the way that they're doing these Lightforge crates anymore. I'd love to go all in, but I just feel like they bloated it, and it's just not great for the whale. Like, let's see. Okay, we got a whole lot of duplicates again. That's always fun. And we'll do one last 10 pull. Oh, I actually don't have enough crystals. You know, I'm just gonna spam out 1 pulls real quick. We'll just do skip cutscene and we'll just spam them out real fast.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
So, I actually have to go up to the 30. Oh, boy. Alright, well, we'll be right back after I top up a little bit more. It's insane to me that, like, you can't even do half of a pull with the dollar one. So I actually have to either go up or buy this twice. So either pay $2 or $5 for, like, an extra 30. Alright, and we're back for the final pull. So, let's see what our guaranteed is and how this crystal, like, pops up and how you select it. I'm praying for the car, but let's be realistic. It's an interesting animation. And of course, it's one of the little blue ones. So, how does it work? You got crystal, proceed to collection, confirm. Why would I want to select later? Okay, so out of all these things, do I want the Mountain Weather, KVD skin, an SN700 skin? So, like, if I click on one of these... Oh, okay. Or a Nightfall Blade Cradle Charm. I will be honest, I don't use a KVD. I don't really like that skin for the SN700. The Nightfall Blade charm, I mean, I've got other charms that I'm pretty okay with, so I guess I'll go with the in-game thing that I can put on a wall. Yay. Sure. It's kind of blurry there. I don't think it's supposed to be that pixelated and blurry. Alright. So I just noticed that another kicker to how these crystals work, if you had the pack that I got, if I had have chose, say, the Nightfall Blade, it's only worth 45 of the fragments, whereas, say, the KVD is worth 160. I'm not even sure what the Mountain Weather was actually worth. I assume it would have been worth as much, at least 160, but if you chose one of the lesser ones, you basically just messed yourself over because you could have got the better thing and then spent the fragments on the lesser thing. So it's another kind of, it's like even here, you've got your full sets at 320 versus getting the Cradle, which is all in the same selector, but it's cheaper. So like you would want to choose the Frenzy set just because it's more value, but... So there you go. I spent roughly $50 Canadian, I think? Yeah, and that's what I got. So I could spend another $50 every 30 pulls and basically knock these out. So you can see this says 1 out of 5, so you'd have to get through all 5 of those, all 4 of those, and 1 of those. The big issue that I have in this probability guide too is that it doesn't really tell you what happens. So like, I got one of these, so like what are all the adjustments to these? Does this stay at 0.6 and all of these other rewards go up, or do these other ones actually go up? So unfortunately in this case I got pretty unlucky. So let's move on to the showcase, because otherwise I'm just gonna keep complaining about this system. Alright, so we're gonna check out each of these in the redemption shop. So you've got your Lightforge ingots, but obviously the main thing you'd be looking for is the car skin. You can get a little bit of a video. So it's definitely the best part of this entire thing, but it's gonna be the rarest. So you're gonna either spend a whole lot of money or have to get really lucky. I do like that it like sparks up whenever you're drifting. And they call it Speedy Wings here, but in the actual pack they call it the Blue Blades, so clearly their translation team is not working together on that, so that's kind of what it looks like there. So moving on, we have the Music Frenzy set. Now we have the Extreme Heatwave set. Alright, the Cradle, the Lost Snuk. And here's the Lost Karubi. Similar to the other one there, where it's teal washed on the inside. Everything's just kind of a color swap, though. We have the Wild Party Variation KVD. It's kind of like you're playing music, and you've got frog decal in a couple different places. Wild Party Soundwave is a KVD, similar to the frog one, but now we have like the DJ kind of stickers on there. Here's the Nightfall Blade Charm. I'm gonna have to zoom in here just to show you. It's kind of cool. Here's that Mountain Weather. When it's moving around, it kind of gets all pixelated and weird, but we'll even show it to you here in the game. It's actually got like a cloud effect for the mountain. That's a lot cooler than what it looked like in the preview. So again, a lot of these items, they tend to do that, where they just look way better in-game than they do in the previews, and they don't show you things like these clouds. So it's kind of cool. Alright, here's the Wild Party for the SN700. So again, we've got that little frog sticker. Got Toy Soldiers for the ACS-12. It's animated, which is nice. Toy Soldiers for the G17. We got Jazz Invitation. It's a decent emote. I like how it's making like little puddles for the at the feet. Weapon charm, we got sunglasses. That's an interesting thing to have for a weapon charm. Got the Radiant Resonance Ring. It is another furniture, so we'll check that out in game. Pretty large, actually. And you can put it on top of things, I believe. Yeah. There we go. And we've got the best partner duo action. So we're just going to check the video on that. It's going to show it off. That's actually kind of cool. We've got a vehicle decal of a Corgi on a Ace of Spades card. Got the Climber's Top. Very cozy, warm themed, probably for the next scenario. We got Street Ray Pants. These actually look kind of interesting. Got the Aurora Handguards. They're kind of interesting. White Cliff Shore mid heels. I'm sure people that are using like the business person suit would actually work quite well with those. We have the Video Disc Cradle Charm. It's quite bright, pretty visible. Kind of like that one. The Let's Have Some Music sticker. The Black Racer sticker. This one's the Ice Lake Tourist Jacket. Looks kind of comfortable, to be honest. Got Infinite Shears. We've got the Burning Passion makeup. Somewhat hidden by my hair, but it's kind of like flames going on there. You can see it a little bit better on this guy just because I don't have the hair. Looks the same on both. Now, lastly, we have these isolated securement units. This one's based on H37. So these will be skins for your securement units. Here's the H37 in-game. We have one that is based on Rebecca, with a lot of the Mayfly motif. And here's that one in-game. This one is based on Mr. Wish. And again, here's Mr. Wish's in-game. Alright, so ultimately, it may seem like I'm annoyed with this because I didn't really get lucky by doing a 30 pull, so I spent, you know, around $50 or so Canadian, and basically got nothing in my opinion, but I was annoyed beforehand. If you've seen my previous videos about the Lightforge loot crates, it feels like they're getting further and further away from the customer and more about the money with these crates. As somebody that has whaled on them before, I feel less and less inclined to whale on them because they're putting in more and more bloat, you know, with the same colored skin, or the skin being the same but with different colors. I think that's just, it's not okay, and it's getting further and further away. So I did the 30 pull. I wanted to see how the crystal actually worked, just so I could show everybody. Other than that, like, I was hoping I get lucky, but in all reality, I knew I was going to get something like a blue crystal, which, hey, I got that one thing. It might be kind of cool on the wall. It's a matter of taste. So ultimately, I hoped that this helped you decide whether or not you want to actually pull on this, or if it just solidified your opinion on how a lot of the community does not like these Lightforge loot crates anymore. They've kind of gone astray. But anyway, if you liked this, there's more like them on the video on the left, but if you want to see more Once Human content, there's a playlist on the right.